Hello, my name is Corey Edmonds, and I've chosen Dr. Charles H.F. Davis III as my intellectual icon. I've discovered throughout my research that Dr. Davis has contributed much in such a short span of time in the field of higher education. Currently, Dr. Davis is an assistant professor of clinical education at the Rosier School of Education and chief strategy officer and director of research at the University of California Race and Equity Center. For more than a decade, Dr. Davis has focused his award-winning works towards racial equality, diversity, and inclusion in higher education, traveling around the country giving lectures and insight into many issues in the field. Much of his research in recent years has centered around student activism on campus and the understanding of political engagement, social issues, and their movements, along with the intersection of campus and community issues. Davis began his studies at Florida State University, where he earned both bachelor's and master's degree in English and communications, and then went on to the University of Pennsylvania to earn a second master's in education, culture, and society. Finally, focusing his attention towards higher education, Dr. Davis earned his PhD from the University of Arizona in higher education sociocultural anthropology. Much of his research throughout his professional and academic career has centered around race and systems of oppression in higher education, along with providing expert consultation to institutions around the United States of America. His lectures are aimed towards racial issues on campus, inclusivity, equity, and faculty diversification, as well as professional programs for higher education administrations designed to meet institutional equity and equality goals. Working directly with the Bill and Belinda Gates Foundation on the Getting Connected project, Davis served as research specialist and published several articles on project success. The initiatives examined the role of social media platforms as technology and community college student success, along with the success of students at four-year colleges and universities. Also with the Gates Millennium Scholars Program, Dr. Davis worked with the United Negro College Fund and Capella University to produce a report for student transitional success pertaining to outreach, retention, engagement, and matriculation in higher education. Continuing his works in higher education, Davis has worked to establish and push the activist Millennials Group and Dream Defenders on student activism and mobilizations of students. Other contributions from Dr. Charles H.F. Davis III include conference appearances and lectures to include student activism, resource mobilization, and new tactical repertoires in the digital age, which was presented at the American Educational Research Association annual meeting in Toronto, Ontario. Also, the 2020 election and beyond, redefining campus climate and political engagement by bridging research and practice, was given at the symposium at the National Association of Student Personnel Administrators annual conference in Los Angeles, both in 2019 alone. His recent documentary entitled Saving Tomorrow Today addresses disparities in K-12 instruction and methods in which instructors and administrators can engage the youth, promoting racial and gender identity in a safe and encouraging atmosphere. The journal I wish to highlight is written by Dr. Charles H.F. Davis and his colleague/mentor Dr. Sean R. Harper and Dr. Edward J. Smith. In it, they discuss the enrollment, persistence, and graduation of black students at an urban commuter college through interviews with both student and administrators to gather this data and issues surrounding this demographic. Data surrounding black student success or lack thereof at diverse institutions typically points to the challenging curriculum and how these students are ill prepared in their previous academic work, but none endeavor to examine the complexity of racial structures and practices that have existed through policies to hinder the success of black students. Several takeaways from this journal are the results of the research and data of black student success at Cityville University. The university is a Hispanic serving institution with 60% of its administration being white, which lends itself to the disparity in instructing students of color, particularly African American students. Interviews of these students indicate experiences with administrations are toxic and academic support services and programs are not aggressively targeting this demographic. Davis and his colleagues go on to describe the societal and environmental conditions that may contribute to these disparities and lack of academic success of black students with housing discrimination in black and Latino communities through the practice of redlining. The study goes on to use the critical race theory to prove the concept of racialization in student development and success amongst students in higher education. This journal and its research uses Cityville University as an example that may be applied to many institutions across the country and shines a light on these deep issues of race and suggests that the issue is far more complex than it is acknowledged. Using Dr. Charles H.F. Davis III as my intellectual icon has given me great encouragement and motivation to continue along this path to create a legacy of achievement with the focus on student success in higher education.